champ is here! The 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 champ is here! This video is brought to you by, I know you can't see it in there, but in here is a fine cup of Chicken Express sweet tea. So I enjoy it. So I've been wanting to start this new video series called Trucker War Stories. This is the first edition. Kind of thinking back, where I wanted to start. Thanksgiving was just last week. I got several Thanksgiving stories, but I think since this first video of this, I thought maybe take y'all back about all the way back to 2002, where when I first started. So I'm starting this video. I'm going to talk to you about when I first started, and the greenness that I went to. Well, first of all, after trucking school and everything, I got on with Warner Enterprises. Went through their orientation and everything, which was, I guess, was a small class, compared to what they do now. It was in a small room in Dallas. And so, you know how when you first start out, you have to go to a training. They send you out with a trainer. And that's what they did. And what they had me do was get on a Greyhound bus to go up to West Memphis, Arkansas. And had my little girl. My youngest girl wasn't born yet. Rebecca was born, and she was about, let's see, Rebecca was born in 99. This was 02. So she was not quite 3 yet, since her her birthday was in October. So she wasn't quite 3 yet, right? Yeah. Wasn't quite, I'm doing my math. She was, this was in September. And no. This was actually in August. But nevertheless, she was 2. Give you a little backstory on me and my daughter and everything. I had a lot of time with her. When she was just real little bitty, and I would have my little day job and everything, and get home from work, and my wife would go to work, and so I would stay home with my daughter and everything. We'd sit there and watch Blue's Clues and all that stuff. Had a regular job, and had a lot of time. So we were pretty tight, right? And for some reason, she saw buses as taking kids away, because she had like her cousins that she would see that went to school, that they always got on the bus and they left. And as a 2-year-old, they just see that, they know. She knew what a bus was. Of course, a school bus was yellow. Anyway, so go back to the Greyhound bus terminal, where me and my
wife and my daughter were there, and I'm packing up the bags. And me and my daughter are just, just playing like we always do. And all of a sudden I leave. And that smile and everything that turned to horror. Screaming, yelling, and just, as I'm getting onto the bus, she's, trying to get me back. And I remember that. And that was a tough time, because this was, I guess it was about 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And so I got on that bus, and it took about 12 hours to get from Dallas to West Memphis, Arkansas. I remember it was when I got to the hotel there, Price is Right was on with Bob Barker. And that was the longest 12 hours, I think, in my life. I can't really think, and it was a sad, dark time, I didn't have a cell phone. Most people didn't have a cell phone in those days, especially if you're riding on a Greyhound bus. And I had a CD player, and I had one CD that I would just listen to over and over and over again until my battery went dead. So our batteries. So I get there. To West Memphis, and I guess I waited there for about a day or so. And I finally got with my trainer, and that was an experience. The whole getting out there at first, getting this small truck with this overweight, ugly, just, he was really a slob. The truck was all nasty, and he was nasty and everything. He was a nice guy, he was just nasty. And that was my first impression. But, as time went on, I had that guy for 2 weeks. He got on this home time, and then another guy came around. I had him for another 2 weeks. Then I took a week off. That second guy I had was pretty cool, but Warner had the option of taking a week off, and so I did. And seeing my daughter again, and just her face, she was actually shy towards me, but she was so happy. She was grinning ear to ear. She saw that I was coming back. See, in those days, cell phones were around, but they were not as common as they are now. And when if I would ever have to call home, and I tried to about at least once a day or once every other day, just as long as I had enough minutes on my phone card, you go to a truck stop and basically wait in line to use a phone. I mean, there was a lot of pay phones, but there was a lot of people using the pay phones, and sometimes you would have to wait to get an open pay phone. There was bunches of them. I mean, if you go to an old Flying J, you'll see about 4 or 5 little closet-looking things. Sometimes they'll actually have a payphone in them. But if you go to some of the Petros, they used to have, and TA is the same way, used to have these rooms, just nothing but just payphones. And there were about 20 of them. And just like little cubicles, almost. Not very much privacy, but enough. And so you just have to wait for one to come open. It was like that, and it was hard. It was hard getting that adjustment, but once my daughter saw me, and my wife knew I was going to be okay. I think she was worried, and like all the wives do, but My wife knew that I was okay and knew I was coming home, but my daughter didn't, and she was so happy to see me. So I had that week off, right, and we just kind of just almost like a vacation. Get back out there, and I met for the last half of my training, which was another 4 weeks. Really, really awesome guy from Texas, and we actually got to spend a couple weekends home. So it wasn't that bad. I just pretty much stayed down south. Really cool guy, and did all that and learned a lot. One of the things that when I first started, with the training, the last guy and the first guy, I learned most between those two, but most useful stuff from the last guy. I can't remember his name, for Philip something. I wish I would have remembered, But anyways, one of the things I learned, a lot of the things I learned, is that, he was an older driver, has been around for a long time, drove a lot of different things, and he passed on a lot of valuable information that I still use to this day. And he really kind of taught me, and I guess I always knew this because I was raised by old people, pretty much, and it was just to really respect the older drivers and listen to them. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and So go through the training, and I'll end the video at this with my first time out on the road. Get my truck, which oddly to say, sorry, I'm a little out of breath for some reason. Oddly to say that my first truck was a brand new 379 Peterbilt. Long nose, red, pretty truck. I don't know why they gave it to a rookie. But my first couple loads actually, because there was a couple in there. But it took me up there to Pennsylvania. Actually, yeah, it took me up there, and I went to go unload there at one of the Walmart DCs up there. Then I had to deadhead to another town, which was clear on the other side of the state. I can't remember the town. But I remember looking at it on the map, all these freeways, there's no really good freeway going to there. You almost had to go clear around the state to get to it. Right? But I was sitting there looking at the map, I'm looking there, and I see, whoa, there's a line there. Looks like a good road. I'll just take that. Instead of taking all the way around, I'll just take a more direct route. Hey, I'm from Texas. If it appears on the map, it's good for a truck, right? In Texas, yep. But not in Pennsylvania. No. Not in Pennsylvania. Or at least for a rookie. So I'm going down and it's dark, it's foggy, a little bit of drizzle. Middle of the night, real narrow, windy, hilly road. And I just remember being, oh man, I was all white knuckled. I'm sitting there on the steering wheel like this, And I just remember being scared. I didn't want to screw stuff up. Then I ended up taking a wrong turn. No cell phones no cell phone for me to get out of that mess. To call somebody to, hey, how do you get there? No GPS. Just had to look on the map and find where you were on the map. I got out of it, and I got there, but I just remember being so scared. and it was eye-opening. But after that, it seemed like everything went better. But that was just, my first moment by myself. I've had moments, but when it's your first moment by yourself, that's when it gets real scary. And but I got out of it. I worked my way out of it. Didn't have much help. Didn't have any help besides just right there what I had in my head, what little I had. So that's when I first got started, pretty much. There's some little things in between there that maybe we'll talk about in future videos. And sorry I'm out of breath. I don't know what it is about this daggone weather. I was good earlier. It just kind of crept up on me. So, anyways, I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving. I'm actually working on another Trucker Rag Chew video. Started it a few hours ago. Just working on clips here and there. I'm going to put on some Netflix here in the truck. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to tell you a little something that's going to be happening in January. If you're not following my Rag Chew Ministries channel. In January, I look to be fasting, much like I did in July. And do some things differently. So follow the Trucker or the Rag Chew Ministries channel here on YouTube, and maybe you could join me. But I'll be taking a break after the new year starts. Kind of redirecting my path here, so I'll still be doing trucking videos. I'm not talking about that kind of path. Just, me personally. So, anyways, y'all, sorry that think I'm coming down. Probably my daughter was sick, so she missed a day at school, and she started getting sick last night. She was hard to breathe, and I'm starting to get that way. So hopefully I'm not catching what she had, because she was pretty miserable. Alright, anyways, thanks for putting up with my crap, but I had to get this started. I'll have more war stories coming up. 73.